Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? This is Sean. I'm here with another video, and this video is I come across this video of Dan Bilzerian. I live down here in Florida, so this guy's gonna be running against another guy named Randy Fine. He's a congressperson down here in Florida, and you know how I feel about voting. The whole thing is a scam, but the reason why I'm showing this video is that this fella here was on TMZ, and he was called out for being anti-septic, and they're trying to say that he hates all the chicken swingers, and he's got a grudge against them and things of that nature. And then the fella that's actually in Congress right now is a legitimate, what's the word that's called? I slipped off the Islamophobic. He literally has stuff against Muslims, telling that they all should be deported out of America, and that that dogs are better than Muslims, and just all kinds of fucking ridiculous shit this guy says. And it's all done because he's on the side of the chicken swingers. He's actually a chicken swinger, so that guy can say these types of stuff. And that's what the whole thing is. It's a double standard. And then the video I just posted, that the people, the chicken swingers embassies in America are trying to pass laws for anybody to speaks against the genocide of an innocent group of people, like in Palestine, and they're doing the same thing in Libya right now. So it's not going to stop, because this is a group of people that are at war with God and God's people. Even the people that don't believe in God, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It's what they believe in, and they're the ones that have billions and billions of dollars, and they're the people that are going around changing the laws and destroying our country in live time. Fucking gasoline's up to $5 a gallon. The cost of living has become unsustainable, which in itself is ridiculous to begin with, that anybody is being charged to be alive when every person was born on earth for free, and we're paying people for the privilege of being alive, which the whole concept is fucking ridiculous in itself. And I can go on and on. I've made videos after videos about exposing NASA and the bullshit that goes along with it. They want you to argue the size of the earth. This is the same people that he's talking about, and they do this in every subject, education, everything that you can possibly imagine. They're involved in, and they're doing the most outlandish shit to destroy the society. As I said, they're at war with God, even though you may not believe this. Like you might not believe in God, but they do, and their God's the devil. Okay, so they're trying to bring in the Antichrist. And Muslims and people that are followers of Christ, they both believe that Jesus was the Son of God, and Jesus is coming back, and they have a high regard for Jesus in the Muslim religion. And in the Muslim religion, they do not believe in using nuclear weapons against people. It's forbidden to use that type of weapon to hurt civilians, women, or children. So, like, the whole thing is going on. It's fucking a bunch of propaganda and lies. And this is where the NPC comes in, and the fucking the normies, because they just can't wrap their head about what's actually going on. So I think there are people that just don't have a soul, because anybody that can sit there and allow a group of people to genocide another group of people that are totally defenseless, and then they get to do that because their God told them that they're allowed to do that. And meanwhile, there's other religions in the world that are just as big, and people could easily say, well, the Roman Catholics were around before any of the other people, so they get to have all the land in the world. Like, this could go on and on. But sensible people don't act like that, because they understand that the earth belongs to everybody. We all have our part of it, and you can't just take things that don't belong to you, no matter what you believe in. Like, no matter what God or pagan religion or whatever you're involved in, you can't use that to go after people that are literally just trying to live their lives like we are. It's not proper, it's immoral, it's evil, and no good person is going to support that. And this dude's talking about. So let's hear what he has to say. I know it's a big opening or whatever, and I'm explaining some stuff. I want you to understand that I never thought like this until about 10 years ago. I was, I was drinking a Kool-Aid. I didn't know. I didn't vote that often, but I didn't realize how fucking enthralled and how bad, our country had been infiltrated until like about 10 to 12 years ago. It's been a little bit of time, but I was in my 40s in my late 30s when I'm like, this whole thing just is fucked up. And then I started looking into the shit. So let's hear what Dan has to say, and important to what you're listening to, because Dan almost has what's the actual, who they're actually attacking. And after he gets done saying what he's saying, I'm going to let you know who they're trying to attack and why they're trying to attack us. Okay?
About, crime rates or demographics, or specifically, let's say, issues in Black America's culture. The right has no problem discussing these things as an issue and talking about race, but it's like, oh, you're not allowed to do that about a different race or about a different religion than Islam. And so that to me is the double standard that needs to be broken down here. And I think that I think it's happening, Dan. It's really just a matter of getting it to the mainstream, obviously, where it's been rejected.
Let's talk about that for a second. What is the ultimate purpose of that? What is the ultimate purpose of saying, if a cop kills a black guy, it's racism? If, something happens to a Jew, it's anti-Semitism. But then if something happens to a white person, whatever. You stab this poor, innocent Ukrainian girl on the subway. Nobody helps her. Nobody gives a fuck. This guy's going to get off. But if that was a black girl, if that was a Jewish person, it would be hands across America. Would be posting black squares, would be going crazy, would be burning down fucking police stations. So what actually is this? I'll explain it. It's very simple. It's an attack on whites. That's what it is, plain and simple. And that's coming from the Jewish community. And you see it over and over when they say, kill a white person today, or they tweet some crazy, vile thing against whites. And then 20 tweets later, it's like, oh, I'm not white, I'm Jewish. How many times have we seen that? And so, like, you look at where all this white hate...
Okay, it's not white hate, dude. It's they're going to try to wipe out as many Christians off the face of the earth as possible. That's what their Talmud tells them to do. They're attacking people that are Christians. The countries that are being attacked right now, Iran, Palestine, in Gaza, what they're doing over there. In Gaza alone, there's over 30% of the population are followers of Christ. They're Christians. Same with Iran. Iran's like in the high 30%. So there's 90 million people over there, and 30% of the fucking population is like 30 million of these people, bro, that are Christians. So they're trying to kill a third of the population. That's why he's talking about nuking them and stuff like that. And Libyan is another high population of Christians. Jesus was born in that area, okay? These people, this is how this is. I'm explaining to everybody what these folks have done, and it's genius. You have to give them credit. And the grift really took place around the mid-1700s, okay? So by the 1800s, they had developed they had developed their own language, Old Hebrew. They revised it. In 1800s, they made up a language, and they stopped speaking Yiddish. And then they just started the Zionism, which was around for a while. This has been around for 1,000 years, but they have actually started implementing their strategies. And the fact of the matter is, these people are at war with God, and they're at war with His children, and that's us. Anybody that's not them is their enemy. That's the way it is. It's black and white. It's that simple. They are not only the most legitimately schizophrenic people, but what they do to their children is horrible because it was done to them. They teach their children to live in fear that everybody that's not them is trying to kill them, and that's how they brainwash these people to do the most outlandish shit. Because if you're in fear of your life constantly, from the time you're a child until the time you're an adult or whatever, you're constantly thinking someone's going to get over on you just to kill you. Like literally, because they keep saying about the pizzas, the 6 million pizzas that are fucking, you can't get away from it. Because that's That's the fucking bait on the hook, man, for these people to be able to live that way and control their own. It's evil, really. What they did is they took Judaism and polluted it and made it into a pagan religion. They don't go by the Torah. They're not the book of Moses or Genesis, all the 5 original books of the Old Testament. They don't go by none of that, okay? They have their own way of doing it in the Talmudic written books that they use. I'm not an expert on it. I've read a few of these books, Talmudic. I have the protocols of the elders. I've read a lot of the 13 tribes. I've read a lot of this stuff, okay? And I'm not an expert on it, but I know enough. And I've read what really opened my eyes. And if you can find this book, it's called the Iron Curtain Over America by John Beatty. And he wrote it in the 1940s. The biggest threat to the United States of America and the world was Jewish supremacy. He spoke about that. And it's not all of them, And as I'm saying, there are Samaritans that actually speak the original Hebrew that was around. They say their prayers by it. And they go by the old ways. But the Old Testament, the New Testament was written in what we call Septic Greek. It was written in original Greek and Latin. It wasn't written in Hebrew. The apostles didn't write the New Testament in Hebrew. They wrote it in Greek. And that's why when Jesus comes back and speaks to John in Revelations, he's speaking in Greek, because that was the language that was used for everybody around the world. That was like a neutral language, sort of like how American is right now. So if I went to back at 500 years ago or whatever, if I was traveling around Europe and I went into France, I didn't speak French, I could speak Greek to people and they would understand me and I would understand them. And same with anywhere else, So it was something that was used all around the world. And Jesus spoke Arabic. He didn't speak that shit that these people were speaking now, this Yiddish and this German and Polish and French mixture of Hebrew, which is, it's bad. It sounds awful because it's a made-up language, just like Pig Latin. As a little kid, you make up languages with using Pig Latin, or a made-up language like in fucking Star Trek or Star Wars. That's that kind of stuff, bud. And they're attacking. It's not whites. They're attacking Christians. There's black people that are being attacked, and people of all different Chinese people, Asian. Everybody's being attacked as Christians. The places that are attacking the most have the highest population of Christians, and that's what they're doing in Ukraine, like they did in World War II. With Stalin, he was going after all these people, and these people will sacrifice the real Jewish people because they don't. They can't prove their bloodline. They have no bloodline to Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob. None of these people. They have no bloodline to these folks. And Abraham was Hebrew, and Jesus isn't Jewish. He's from Judea. So it says in the Bible where people don't read the Bible, and you're taking the words from a pastor that was trained by his Jewish rabbis to convert to I hate to say this, but to destroy the Word of God and pollute the Bible and get people confused on who the actual Savior of mankind is, and it's Jesus Christ. It's it's nobody else besides Jesus. He is the Son of the Most High. He was reincarnated. He, was crucified, died, went down to hell to get the keys to hell, and ascended into heaven on the 3rd day. And that's the way it is. I believe that, and I've looked into it, and I've tried to debunk religion, and I'm like, and every time I do, I come across the fact that this feels right in my heart, that what I'm saying is, it feels right and true, and this ain't about slaughtering people. We're supposed to be a people that bring each other together and build communities of trust and love and prosperity together as communities. Usury didn't exist. Taxation on your fucking wages didn't exist. Property taxes, people having multiple homes. This is new shit that just started 150 years ago, and this is 250 years of this country being around, and we're going in the wrong direction. because we're learning a lesson as a young country that 109 other countries learned centuries ago before we were even conceived as a country, and that is they kick these people out of their country because they're troublemakers, and they are cursed by the Most High because they literally told God that crucify his son, that the Romans to crucify him and let the blood of him be on us and our generations. So they are always at war. That's why they make the best attorneys, because they love arguments and they love to try to twist. They're twisters of truth, and they're twisters with. They're very good with words. They're very good with manipulation, and that's just how they get their power. Because there's supposed to be a small few of them, but they're the majority that rule over the entire earth. And the whole concept of people having to pay to live, just to exist, is uncivilized and barbaric, to say the least. But let's hear what the rest of this guy's saying. He's missing it, dude. It ain't white people, it's Christians. And they want you to use the word white people because now you sound like a racist. You do. And that you're not. I know you're not. And I know that you're a good man and you're trying to do your best. But you're falling into the trap of what they want you to say. They knew that you were going to come out and say this about, oh, well, white people are being attacked. Dude, it ain't white people. The majority of the population of white people are Christians. Yeah, so that, that may look like what's going on, and that we are, being, our population's going down just like anybody else, unless you have children, and it's hard to have children in an economy and in a world that is unstable like this. And the young people are confused as fuck because of our, they're not getting proper guidance from the people that should be giving them guidance, their parents and their grandparents, because their parents and grandparents don't know what the fuck to do either, because everybody doesn't know what the hell's going on because they're lost and they ain't got no spark of divine spirit in them, not realizing that the kingdom of heaven is literally inside you and that you are connected with the Most High and Jesus, and they're experiencing what you're experiencing. So they know, and it's coming, man. The truth is out there. So let's get back to this. I just wanted to let him, this dude falling into this trap with these people. This is why he'll never debate me. If I have time to go on a show and debate this subject, I wouldn't be falling into these traps. And he's not a bad dude either. He's a good interviewer, and he's not even trying to set him up like that. They're friends. They're just talking about like how we're talking. But I'm saying, when you go to debate these people, they're going to debate you in bad faith, okay? And they're already going to know what they're going to bait you into saying words, and that saying the word white. They're trying to destroy white people. No, they're trying to destroy humanity, and specifically the ones that worship Jesus Christ. That's what's being attacked. Let's not get this twisted. That's why you got Trump going out there making ridiculous things, posting ridiculous shit about Jesus Christ, trying to act like he's Jesus Christ. And then I got people coming to my channel defending Trump, saying, well, Jesus wouldn't punch him and knock him to hell. Didn't God flood the whole world because of evildoers? God destroyed cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm sure that Jesus, when he comes back, he is going to be doing his Father's will, and it will be with angels. And it ain't coming back with love. Like, it's going to be a battle against wickedness. And it's going to be over before you can even pop your first popcorn. You ain't going to know what the hell hit you people. You're talking about divine spirit of the Holy Spirit, God, Jesus himself coming down here and sorting this out. And you're defending a pedophiling, a 34-time convicted felon as president that has committed a war crime against the Iranian children. This man is responsible for 175 little girls being blown up in a fucking school. Okay, this is America, dude. We don't do that type of shit here in America. We don't do battles like that. They might do that in Israel, but we're not them. And we, as American people, we don't stand for that. We don't do battles like that. We don't go after schools. We don't do that. And if it's being done and people are doing it, need to be arrested and prosecuted for war crimes and high crimes against humanity. It's not the way we roll as Americans, and I want the world to know that. The American people are not down for this. We have no problem with Iranians. We have no problem with any of you folks in the Middle East. It's not us. We have been taken over. We're under attack. Our country is literally under attack. We need help. We're in the same boat that you're in. Only we have half of the country is NPCs and normies that just are either too old or too dumb or don't want to do anything about this horrible situation that is unfolding on a daily basis. And then you got people telling me that Jesus wouldn't take Trump and throw him into hell for doing for saying what he was saying about Jesus himself and mocking Christians. And you people are still supporting this demon. Anyway, let's carry on.
Open borders. Who's pushing this melting pot idea? All of that is basically an attack on whites. It's not an attack on blacks. It's not an attack on Jews. Who does that ultimately hurt? Who does DEI hurt? You know, all these things are focused to basically undermine white people. And, you know, and nobody wants to talk about that because you say that, you're a white supremacist.
Dude, they're not understanding, not white people. You're undermining the integrity of the whole entire country. Most of the people, this country was based on Christian beliefs. Although there was not people in there preaching in Congress, but they had Jesus moralities. You didn't lie, you didn't cheat, you didn't steal. You're not trying to destroy the country by bringing in other people's, because they get money for this. These countries are making money off of their citizens. Oh, if I send you some slaves to come over here and do some work in America, I get double the money back. You know, we need more people to pick fucking oranges down here in Florida. Can you send me some Mexicans? And Trump's on the phone calling up, or Ron DeSantis or whatever, calling the other country up. When this whole thing is ridiculous. If you're really trying to do this the right way, just open the borders, let people come over and get a daily pass and take the fucking taxes out of their wages after the same day that they work, and they get paid the same day. I mean, they got the day pay apps and shit like that. I mean, everything would be straight and legal, and they just go back home to Mexico after they get done working over here or whatever the case might be. Oh, you might have terrorists. Let the fucking community take care of these people. The police department wasn't even formed was not made for us normal people. It was made to do security for the docks in the 1800s, late 1800s, when they started having to pay for security. The rich people, with all their merchandise that was coming on and off the boats, they had to hire security guards to make sure people didn't steal the stuff. So they're like, we got to figure a way where we don't have to pay for this because this is coming out of our profits. So like, let's make a police department and have the people pay for it. And that's how this all came about. And that's why these people dress like military people, because their real job was to look over people's property. And if somebody was to try to steal it, then they fucking shoot them or beat the shit out of them or whatever. You know, you're talking about the 1800s. Before that, there were things called watchmen, and people would, every person in the community would take turns staying up 12 hours during the night while everybody was sleeping, and look over the community, walk around, make sure if there was a fire or anything, they blew a whistle, and people would come and put the fire out, and they would all help each other. That's how the communities used to work without cops. And then, every hour, you ever seen the old movies? Like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, as well. That's where that shit comes from. I mean, we have history books, folks. We can get people start reading into this stuff. You're gonna find out a lot of shit that just makes sense after you look into it. And this guy got to look into this, because it's the Christians that are being attacked. It's the people that are trying to live in peace with each other are the ones being attacked.
Stupid labels, but it's just calling a spade, and I'm tired of dancing around issues. I'm tired of pretending, that we can't, just like, they have like, oh, the N-word, if you say that, it's this crazy thing, but you can say spick, it's not the S-word, you can say cracker, it's not the C-word.
Look at Owen, he's trying not to laugh.
What they do is they create this, like, this victim narrative that, you know, they show, oh, well, you know, blacks are perpetual victims and Jews are victims, so if they're a part of the victim category, all of a sudden they get special treatment. You can't talk about them, you can't criticize them. They don't give a fuck about black people. They just use blacks so that they can also inherit all those victim category rights. And the funny thing about it is this, buddy, they're using that shit to enslave us, okay? Because their hatred towards us is to the point where if I can weaponize words and make people think that if a certain word means that they're a certain way, and then that way could be detrimental to society, I can have them taken out of society and put in jail over their speech. And then their friends and neighbors are like, oh, why the hell is Joe Blow Schmo in the jail? Oh, he said something about the the Palestinian peoples being blowed up by the Bilzerian people, and they said that's enough. Well, you can't say that, and they came to his house and put him in jail for fucking speech. Like, you can say whatever you want about the Pope or the Catholic Church. There's many of people on here. There's this guy Zach Hubbard from from fucking Gematria, which I exposed years ago, that he was a fraud and related to the blacks, green blacks. And everybody's like, oh, I was like, yeah, look into this mother effer. Anyway, they're everywhere on YouTube. They're infiltrated every aspect of how to make a dollar. Seriously. The sports betting apps, all that bullshit, it all comes from them. The fact is that this dude is missing it, man. These people are trying to weaponize the fucking English language and made up language that they made so they can incarcerate people that are calling out crimes out that they're doing. You won't be able to speak about the Epstein files again because that'd be antiseptic. And then they're fucking put you in jail for it. Meanwhile, our children and our fucking family's children and our friends and people's children and everybody's in danger with these people. They can do whatever they want. They're lawless. This is becoming a lawless nation. The whole thing of, like, one of the reasons why I think blacks, you know, are you know, kind of being violent against whites is because of this whole, like, slave narrative that's been pushed and pushed and pushed. The funny thing is, when you actually dive into it, you realize that Jews were disproportionately responsible for the slave trade. And they shut the slave trade down on all Jewish holidays.
Yeah, the Atlantic slave trade. They started it. It's all in the Bible, slavery. That's why it's hard for me to read it.
You know, Malcolm X talked about this.
Yeah, he did.
It's one of these things where you have to really question things that they tell you cannot talk about.
Like Voltaire said.
Hilarious.
Voltaire said that. Matter of fact, I am actually reading Voltaire. See, look. I'm reading Portable Voltaire. He said that. He said, you want to know who rules over you? You find out the people that you cannot criticize. And he's right. And the people, who can you not criticize? Does this sound normal to you? We live in America. Like, freedom of speech, even back in the fucking 90s and 80s, you had Nazis marching down the fucking streets, you holding flags and all kinds of, you know, meetings and shit, and saying the most horrendous shit about black people, and there'd be black preachers out there praying for them, and I mean, they would let them say whatever they wanted to say, as long as they didn't put no physicalities on anybody. But this is the only group of people, because they are the biggest criminals. See, once you start criticizing them on one thing, and you start looking into the other crimes that they're involved in, then they're like, well, we can't have them say anything about us because they're going to expose us for being the criminals that they are. And the whole concept of billionaires is repulsive and disgusting to me, okay? Like I say, we are born on Earth, and we're paying to live on a place that we were all born on for free, dude. And who decided to charge people for living on Earth? And who the fuck are we paying? It's one group of these assholes. It's not all of them, but it's it's them.
That interview, and you called them out on this, and they quickly, I think, backed down because they realized how ridiculous it was, and then they went on to, I'm sure you heard the shock. Oh my, he said the N-word. Oh, it was like the whole TMZ studio went into a conniption fit, like they're all children. And that's really what got exposed, is it really is an immature mindset here. And it was so great the way you phrased it. Like, are we not adults? Can we not have a conversation? So
like, it's not racist to say a word. And I also think it's important to say these words, because It removes, the stigma. It removes the shock, here's the bottom line. Everybody's fucking equal. Nobody's better than anybody else. And if you actually want to end racism, which they don't, by the way, they don't want to end racism, but if they actually wanted to end racism, they would accept the fact that everybody's equal. You don't need to put people in victim categories. You can't have blacks say, heinous things about whites, or Jews say heinous things about whites, but then you can't say things about them. It would be no double standards. Everybody's equal. That's the only thing that works. When you try and say, oh, well, a black guy can say nigga, but a white guy can't, or if you say the hard R, it's all these nonsensical things. Like, just shut the fuck up. It's words. Like, when I grew up, if there was a word that could trigger you, that could get under your skin, everybody would fucking say it to you. And that went to high school.
Listen, bro, he is 100% right. I went to elementary school with this dude. His name was Omar, and he used to make duties in his pants, and we were about 7 or 8 years old. So we Omar duty pants, and I seen him about 10 years ago. He had a family and everything, and I was like, oh my goodness, what up, Omar duty pants? I mean, fucking grown at the time. I was in my 40s, late 40s. And he's in his late 40s, and I'm calling a grown man Omar duty pants, just from elementary school. And you can't make it up, seriously. Yeah, Omar was cool. He just didn't, he just is like, oh, if I don't want to ask permission to go to the bathroom or whatever. We're like, dude, we have bathrooms here in America, But Omar would do duties, and that's how he got his name, Omar duty pants. True story.
Went for the military. I don't give a fuck what race, what religion you were, you better have thick skin. And we've lost that, and now today everybody's so sensitive and so triggered, and a word is just going to get them to fucking fight people. Meanwhile, our fucking politicians are fucking children.
Yeah.
We're paying to bomb children's schools, and nobody's focused on that. But if you say a word, people lose their fucking minds. That tells me that there has been propaganda, programming that is not conducive to logical thinking. And that's the problem today. Is like everybody is like so ingrained in this propaganda, and you have to think this, and you can't say this, and you can't do this, and it's just fucking bullshit. You need to zoom out.
The problem with this whole scenario that he's talking about is this is the kind of stuff that's ingrained and enthralled in your children when they are put through the documentary, through the school system, and they are taught to crush individuality and to think like in a beehive, to be the worker bee. That's why you get up in the morning and you're at school at fucking 7 in the morning, just like a job, and then at 2:30, 3 o'clock you're done. You clock out, but it's not done. You still got work to do. No, you got to work off the clock. We're not paying you to take your work home for you. That's what the jobs do. Same with school. Your school should be done when you're finished. You shouldn't have homework. If that's the case, then make it an extra hour longer, and then let the kids go into the library and do the schoolwork and finish it up. But the whole concept is ridiculous. You're not learning any trades in there, and they changed the school system so dramatically that people aren't even learning how to write cursively, or how have their foreign languages and things that are even workshops and home ec and things like that, to learn how to cook and learn how to sew and things that are important to do, man. And computer classes, obviously, but because we live in that technology, but also offer plumbing and teach people how to do fucking trades. It should be, high school should be, junior high, and even in elementary. If the person has an idea what they want to do, they should start taking classes in that. If they want to be firefighters, then they would take science classes. If they want to be police officers, then they would take constitutional law and psychology classes and stuff. And that way they're vetted before they even get into the field, because they have the education. And like I say, the police are only there to protect and serve the rich, because that's who pays them. And that's how it's been from day one. That's what the whole thing is based on. It's based on Freemasonry. That's why the little mustache took all the Freemasons out of Germany when he took over, and confiscated all their works. because he was also an occultist. But he also was a Christian. So a lot of people don't know that. And you should listen to his speeches in English. I'm not promoting either way. I don't care what the guy, I don't even know anything. I think most of the shit that happens in history is fake shit. There's literally 250 to 500 years of history that was made up according to these mathematicians that are genius people, and they figured it out a while back, and there's scientists talking about it. So they actually think that we're living in the 17th century, and that that's where we're at, because of the calendars being changed so much. So everything, dude. He's talking about indoctrination on the other with the television and stuff like that. Dude, your whole life you're being bombarded. As soon as you're fucking born, you're being conditioned. You're being baptized. Like when I was born in 71, I was born in December, and by February, I was already in the church being baptized. You know, in the home, I was baptized in the Holy Name, Roman Catholic Church, and you know, my mom thinks she was doing the right thing, because that's what her mom did, and my great grandparents and all that. And I got pictures of my great grandparents. You know, and that's as far as I go back to like the 1700s. But it's hard to find your family heritage past 1700s, because they wiped out a whole entire societies because people weren't living like we're living. And this is a reset. Every 100 years or so, they come along when people start waking up and they start fucking whacking people. And this time, they're trying to bring around their Messiah, which is literally the Antichrist. And Donald Trump isn't the Antichrist himself. He has the Antichrist spirit. And as I've been saying for years, it's not Donald that I'm worried about as so much. He is going to cause damage. He has to do what he has to do to set the stages for his son, Barron. Barron Trump is the Antichrist. He's the one that's going to come and bring all this together. And he's the one that's going to set in the temple. This dude is something off on him, man. And the stuff that he matches up with, and his height and everything, there's just, it's just fucking weird shit with that guy. But I'm telling you ahead of time, this is going to be years. I'm prophesizing this. I'm saying in my heart what I believe in from the history that I've found so far. You know, from the evidence I found, he matches up perfectly for what's coming. So this is just the beginning of this. These are stages that are taking place. And if we nip this in the bud, this won't get to the point where we're all going to be fucking wondering what the hell just happened. You know, like literally there'll be fucking bombs being blasted everywhere. There'll be hazardous shit going on. There'll be atrocities being committed at levels people couldn't even comprehend. Anarchy, shit, there won't even, it'll be literally every man and woman for themselves. If it gets to that point of chaotic, your infrastructure is being attacked. Because there's only so much that can go on until the people are going to retaliate, just like they did to Germany. And Germany thought that they were invincible. That was one country that almost won against the whole world. I mean, fucking crazy. 50 million people almost conquered the whole entire earth. It's crazy. So the thing about it is, we cannot allow these people to get an inch. You have to keep pushing your Congress people. Say, if you keep voting for this, like, first of all, we shouldn't even have to deal with two choices. There should be many choices. Like, this guy's got $100 million, so he can go into Congress and he can put up his campaign. If he loses, no big deal. He's still got shit tons of money. But it should be to the point where everybody in America it's like a raffle. You are just raffled into Congress, or people that have law degrees are raffled into the fucking Senate. You only get to do one. You get your 4 years in Congress and you're out, and you get fucking your years in Senate and then you're out. You has to be term limits. It should be just 2 terms and you're out. That's if you want to even run again. But to get rid of the whole situation, you just have a random fucking raffles and everybody, just like they do for to be on the jury. Because it's gotten to the point where it's so fucking corrupt that you can't even vote for people. And the people that you're voting for, like this guy saying, they're not held accountable for lying to you. They can tell you anything they want, and then when they get in office, they don't do nothing, and they're not held accountable. So it's crazy.
And you need to analyze things for yourself. That was what COVID was about. It's like, no, you have to, trust the science. take the jab. If you don't do it, we're going to fire you. We're going to ostracize you. We're going to paint you as a fucking crazy person. You're putting other people in danger. It was all bullshit. And that came from the government. So to me, when people lie to me over and over and over again, I stop trusting them. And I just think there needs to be some real fucking accountability with politicians and with the government. The government should never lie to you.
Ever.
Ever.
Exactly.
Ever. The government is supposed to serve the people, not fucking manipulate the people.
Nope.
They are there, politicians are there to serve the country, not to have the country serve them. And that's what we have right now. We've got the people, serving the government. The government is basically taking advantage of the people. People in political office are, they're using the system to get rich at the people's expense, and that shit needs to fucking stop.
I agree.
And it looks like, our guy, Trump, may be the worst offender of it.
No,
and
he's not a fucking guy. Yeah.
If logic can't be applied universally, it's not logic, it's propaganda, and that's what you exposed in that conversation. But what was even crazier is when they tried to claim that Jew, they were accusing you. They said that Jew was also a racial slur, which of course that's news to everybody. I didn't know that, but okay. So then they say, oh, Jew is a racial slur. Meanwhile, he's saying Jew this, Jew that. It's Jew all day long. They don't censor any of that.
See, what this guy's missing here is that these people are conditioning you to act like a Jew is an ethnicity or an actual a race of people. It's a religion. Anybody can convert to Judaism. Anybody can convert into to be a Catholic, catechism. Anybody can convert to be a Hindu. You can convert to be a Buddha. You can convert to be any religion you want. It's a religion. There are Irish Jewish people, Irish Hebrews, or Irish people that practice Judaism, or there are black Ethiopians that are that practice Judaism. There's people all over the world that practice Judaism. There's 1 billion people that practice being a Muslim. That's not who they are. They're Iranian or Iraqi or wherever country they're from. That's their nationality, but they also have their own ethnicity. So it's not. They have tricked the world, and these fucking pastors, these fake pastors that are teaching people, these stupid sheep that don't read their Bible and don't confront the pastors for blasphemous statements. They're misleading the people because they're using the words that because the church has been infiltrated by these folks, and they really are teaching Judaism. They're not teaching Christianity, because if you're teaching Christianity, you're teaching the teachings of Christ. That's the whole principle of that. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. It's not anything else but Jesus Christ. The Old Testament doesn't. After Jesus came along, he fulfilled all that, and he's coming to fulfill the rest of it because of the chicken swingers, basically. There's only one group of this, and I never thought it like this before, because I'm like, man, there's these fucking Rockefellers and the Jesuits and all these other things, and then you follow the money, and it's the people that get the money, and these aren't even the top. These are the people we know about. There are people, like I say, like, who was the first person that got charged to live on Earth? Did Adam get charged? Did Eve get charged? They're just sitting in their fort, and somebody comes along and says, hey, buddy, you got to pay to live on this land here. And he's like, no, God gave it to me. Like, literally, he did. That would be the only guy that if he was still around, they'd be like, okay, yeah, dude, you're right. You're the first. Okay. But the whole concept is we're all born on Earth. This is our land. It's our Earth. We're supposed to protect it. We're supposed to build communities to help each other and to live in peace and harmony with each other. I could give a shit what these people are doing over there in other countries. Like, they're not bothering me, and I'm not bothering them. But if they need our help, that's one thing. But to go over there and try to use military forces to steal their natural resources and to steal their land from them, well, that's evil. And I'm not being a part of it. And neither is anybody that I know that worships Jesus. And you're not supposed to be nice about this. You're supposed to be brutally honest with these people. You are an evil scumbag that needs to stop doing this, because we're going to arrest you anyway. They need to all be arrested for war crimes and crimes against humanity, and we need to reset in the favor of the people, not the billionaires. The reset is a good idea, but for the people, we're the ones going to reset it. We're the ones going to decide. We should have nice things in this country. Where the fuck is our monorail systems? Where is our nice ass architectural buildings being built every day? Where's the industrial complexes that should be being brought up around the whole entire America, dude? I should be able to easily be able to travel around from the state of Florida in a shuttle. You know, there wouldn't be no I-4 fucking traffic backed up. People could get back and forth to work easier. You were talking about pollution being solved. There's your problem right there. Half the cars wouldn't have to be driving down I-4 to go to fucking work. And you wouldn't have so many car accidents. And we all can all fucking agree that we should all be getting Medicare for all. If they got money, they print money for free, dude. Because it doesn't have any value. There's no gold and silver. So why are we paying taxes then? You can print as much money as you want for wars. Then the whole thing is fraudulent. That's what I'm saying. It's completely fraudulent to even be paid anybody to live on Earth. It's always been fraudulent. That's why things don't feel right inside your heart and your soul, because you know that it's fraudulent. You just don't know how. And I'm telling you how. They're scamming you to live, just to breathe air. They're charging you to live. And it's fucking uncivilized.
But they did censor one word, Dan. They did bleep one word, and it wasn't Jew.
I mean, yeah, it's just nonsense. Everybody saw through it. The beauty is that people are awake to this shit.
They are.
You see that in the comments. Like, if you look across their 5 platforms, it's like 95% of the comments are on my side, which is probably one of the reasons why they roasted Randy so bad and exposed the double standard. And that gives me hope, right? It gives me hope that people are finally kind of like waking up to what's going on. I just hope that's reflective of most of America. My fear is that the young people know what's going on, but the older people that are actually casting the votes don't. Those are the people that are kind of like still plugged into to Fox News and still kind of like, buying the propaganda. And so, the real question with this election is going to be, can we mobilize the youth to actually fucking do something? To stop being lazy, to get off their fucking TikTok, and to go cast some votes, and to go actually have a say. And I think my running...
Look, my dude, if voting counted in today's society, we wouldn't be allowed to vote. One billionaire, just one, has more influence than 10 million registered voters, and they have 50% more power than 10 million registered voters. And as of today, in the United States of America, it is April 14th, 2026. There are over 900 billionaires living in America. Do the math. There's 300 million people. There's 900 million. I'm sorry, 900. I'm sorry, not 900 million. I apologize. It's been a long fucking day. There's a 900 billionaires that live in America, and there are 300 million people that live in America, and one billionaire has more influence than 10 million registered voters. So explain to me how the fuck voting is going to make a difference when you have states like Florida that have 23 million people, and let's say 10 million people or 12 million people vote in the whole state. One billionaire can come along and influence the whole entire fucking election. So because they donate so much money to the people that's running, that's going to make the laws for them or do whatever they want them to do, that the people that live in the states don't even have a fair share. Don't even have a fair say in it. They're not even getting the people they want elected. Even if you won the election, you're still not going to win the election because you're not going to be able to know that they got ways of adding votes to the shit. It's rigged. He's got to know that.
Might change that. I think people like me running, like the Marine McGinnis, he's actually running for Senate. He's a great guy. And people like that, I think, might pull out some of these young voters. Because, before this, what was it? It was fucking Hillary, it's Hillary Clinton, it's fucking you know, it's Biden, it's Trump, it's Kamala Harris. It's like you never even have a fucking good choice. It's like, what is it, bad or worse, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's done intentionally. And if it was legit, like I say, you'd have more than two choices, you know. I think you should, it should also start in your communities. You have to get involved in your community and run for council and be part of your community to make your communities better, and then you make your state better, and then that philosophy travels throughout the other states. But go check out Dan Bilzerian's channel. This is where I got this from. And I thought, I know he did Owen did a long interview with him and stuff. But I watch everybody's channels. You know, there's nobody I don't watch. I learn from everybody, and I'm just explaining that even this guy, he thinks he's right. It does appear that they're going after white people, you know, like that, but it's not what they're doing. They're actually going after Christians, and he's just a little off on it. It's not having to do with white people or black people or any of that stuff. It has to do with Christians, and the countries that are being bombed the most are in the areas that they're bombing are full of brown and black and white Christians, all different colors, but they're all Christians, and they're the ones being annihilated right now, and they're doing the same thing in Libya, and they're not going to stop. It's up to us to make sure that the people that are in charge know that they cannot keep getting away with this, and that we're going to stand together as a country, and we're going to put a stop to these genocides that are going on in these countries, because this is not proper and this is evil. And anybody that believes in any kind of moral justice, or any type of have a good heart in your body or any kind of soul, you can see that it's not cool to blow up little kids in schools. Okay, that's not how we roll as a country. I don't want to be part of anything like that. I'm not paying taxes to anything like that. I will not participate in any type of disastrous fucking war crimes like that. These people should be arrested. They should be tried for war crimes and high crimes against humanity. It's my opinion on it. It's actually factual. They have actually done that. That is a war crime to attack a school full of children, and it's also crimes against humanity. So I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe if it would help out a lot. I'm not monetized. I'm not going to ask you for no money. I don't need nothing like that. I just want you guys to know that what's going on, and I think we should all share opinions. And I'm not going to block people or anything like that, but if you're a bot and you come to my channel, I'm just going to, you know, like let the comment section get to you, because there are a lot of bots that go to my channel, because I've been exposing these types of people for over 10 years now, and I'm still at the same account. That's why I was asking people if they would, you know, like and subscribe to my video. I wanted to see if my account goes up, because I've been shadow banned for the last 5 years. But I'm still making videos because I enjoy doing that, and I have people that have been with me for years, and I think it's my obligation to keep my channel up and to do the best I can to provide you with the most information that I possibly can, so you can make the best decisions on what to do in the future. I love you guys, and just keep in mind, and never forget this, that the Most High and Jesus loves you, and so do I.